In the news this week, an attempt to introduce abortion on demand up to birth is abandoned. Nearly 200 medics oppose legalising assisted suicide in Scotland. And the High Court hears how the current abortion law discriminates against those with Down syndrome. Hello. A plan to introduce abortion on demand up to birth in England and Wales has been withdrawn. The amendment to the Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts Bill would have repealed all legal safeguards around abortion, facilitating abortion at any time and for any reason or none. The proposal, tabled by Diana Johnson MP, was severely criticised by a number of her colleagues. Fiona Bruce described it as truly shocking. New Clause 55 has no place in a compassionate, civilised and humane society. During the debate, MPs repeatedly drew attention to the high number of calls and emails they had received from constituents, urging them to oppose the change. Bob Blackman said he had received more emails and calls about New Clause 55 than any other measure since being elected to the House 11 years ago. The Institute's Deputy Director, Kieran Kelly, welcomed the news.
This is really great news, and what was noticeable that MP after MP spoke about how many emails and phone calls and letters they had received on this issue. And they were coming not just from our supporters, but from many others around the country. And I hope that they're encouraged that they can make a real Christian difference when they write into their MP, and not just on this issue, but on the issue of religious liberty, end-of-life issues and other things, to contact MPs and make their voice heard.
Almost 200 healthcare professionals have expressed their opposition to a new bill to legalise assisted suicide in Scotland. MSP Liam MacArthur is proposing to remove legal protections for vulnerable patients who are terminally ill. But in an open letter to Health Secretary Humza Yousaf, doctors and nurses from across the country pledged to care for the safety and well-being of their patients, even if asked to do otherwise. The medics reminded the Health Secretary that every human life is of immeasurable worth and that no one should be deprived of that life intentionally. We would not take patients' lives, even if they asked us to, but for the sake of us all and for future generations, we ask that the law remains unchanged. The High Court has ruled that men who identify as women can be housed with female prisoners in England and Wales. Ministry of Justice policy currently allows women's prisons to house men who say they wish to live permanently as if they were the opposite sex. A female prisoner known as FDJ had challenged the policy after she was assaulted in 2017 by a man convicted for sex offences who identified as a woman. Although the judges conceded it could have a significant psychological impact on female prisoners, they decided the policy is lawful and that a specialist panel should decide the placement of male inmates on a case-by-case basis. FDJ said she was disappointed by the ruling. Men who have a history of violence and sexual offending against women should not be in a situation where they can put our safety at risk. And finally, the High Court has heard that the current law on abortion stereotypes and demeans those with Down syndrome. James Coppell QC made the comments while representing Heidi Crowther and Moya Lee Wilson, who argue that the UK's abortion law is discriminatory. Currently, abortion is permitted up to 24 weeks for most reasons, but is available at full term for children deemed to have a severely life-limiting condition, including Down syndrome. Coppell said this is incompatible with the European Convention on Human Rights and is a contributory cultural cause of abuse against those with Down syndrome. Lee Wilson said she wanted her son Aidan, who has the condition, to grow up knowing he's not someone people have to cope with. He's not a burden to society. He is a wonderful human being in his own right. Speaking to the Institute after the hearing was announced, Heidi Crowther outlined why she believes the abortion law is unfair to preborn babies with Down syndrome.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this case is because I am someone who has Down syndrome and I will not tolerate discrimination. Also, discrimination against my husband, and I love my husband so much. And see the person behind me as a chromosome. The key point is to maintain equality in the womb.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.
very good afternoon to everybody out there. Welcome to another edition of the Late Lunch Show alongside your boy DJ Val. As always, got to give props going out there to my Bishop John Anthony Francis, and my co-pastor Penny Francis. They are the visionaries and founders of Ruach City Church, which is my home church. And as it is a magnificent Monday, I will say this, a very, very great afternoon going out there to the guys over there at Salt FM as we join them on Salt FM's Drive Time today. We are adding a little soul to their salt. So shouts going out to DJ Jai, Shoggy Tosh, and of course Miss Louisa. So we got a super duper califragilisticexpialidocious show lined up for you today. We have our guest, Miss Patricia Knight Scott. PKS is going to be with us a little bit later on, telling us about all that glitters is not gold. And of course, this is the day after the defeat of the England team. And if I can, I do want to talk about the unnecessary racist backlash that seemed to flood social media immediately after the match. I mean, you can listen to a sound. Yeah, but we're going to do some great music as always in between all of that chat, right?
Hi, this is Wendy Walker, and you are listening to The Soul Food Show with DJ Val.
Yo, blessings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. This is your boy Diligence from Tampa, Florida. You are now listening to The Soul Food Gospel Show with my brother DJ Val. Salute.
Hi, it's your man, superstar, contemporary, Holy Ghost-filled gospel artist, Mr. T. Briggs, and you're listening to the Soulful Gospel Show with DJ Val, the best gospel show in the United Kingdom. Check it out.
Hey everyone, it's Keandra Lockett here, and you are listening to the Soul Food Gospel Show with DJ Val.
This is Lorraine Clark McGee, and you're listening to DJ Val on the Soul Food Show.
Wherever I am in the world, j'écoute le Soul Food Show avec DJ Val. C'est sur Ruach Radio. Ce show est fantastique, est incroyable. Un show à ne pas manquer, les amis. Allez, à bientôt. Ciao.
DJ Val, playing the finest and the best in what gospel has to offer you. I'm gonna say it again. DJ Val, playing the finest and the best in what gospel has to offer you.
DJ Val, playing the very best in gospel's finest and rarest grooves this side of the Mississippi.
DJ Val, playing music for your mind, body, and soul.
Every day me get up, me I live my life. Me I live my life, me I live my life. Every day me get up, me I live my life. Me I live my life. Yo, I want to tell us a life too short, you know.
I wonder if this is live as well, Jojo. If it was pre-recorded, I'm sure you wouldn't make such rookie schoolboy errors like that, right? Or would he?
Yeah, me I live my life, me I live my life.
I have to apologize for that slight hiccup there if you're listening live.
My life, me I live.
Buttons not pressed as they should have been. Let's do some Minister Tab.
Me I live my life, me I live my life. Every day me get up, me I live my life. Me I live my life, me I live my life. Every day me get up, me I live my life. Get up every day and live my life. Christ died on the cross for me life. You can't stay there and watch my life. Me clothes clean and me shoes well nice. Put on me clothes and me step out the road. Any cologne and now I fit on food.
I told you, but you know, sometimes with this whole pre-recorded thing, I may not be live, you know, Jojo.
I with no outfit, just me I live my life, me I live my life.
Maybe I'm just really good at
live my life, me I
really good at pretending.
Live my life. Every day me get up, me I live my life. Me I live my life, me I live my life. Every day me get up,
don't mind me, you know.
Me I live my life, me I live my life. Every day me get up, me I live my life. As a youth, me say me no fi satisfied. Yeah, man. Now say me soul go bust no pipe. No, sir. Me work and so me I go enjoy myself. Go to the movies, me no buckle pan shelf. No. Life too short, me I go enjoy myself. Yeah, man. That no say me I go innocent thing. No. Them the ways, them me put it in a bin. Yeah, man. Link up me friend them over there so make we sing. Me I live my life, me I live my life. Every day me get up, me I live my life. Me I live my life.
Sounds of Minister Taff, live and direct. Love that one, Live My Life. I want to say shouts going out to everybody who's jumped on. If you are new to the show, we have one simple instruction. We ask you to type new in the comments if you're viewing or watching by any of the TV services. Of course, if you are taking the opportunity to hide behind the privacy glass, commonly referred to as YouTube, then the only thing I would say, do remember to hit the subscribe button. And of course the notification bell as well, so you never miss an episode of anything we do over here at Soul Food Gospel.
Yeah.
And remember, if you like what you hear, give your boy a thumbs up. Outside, another great track. Inside, this one by Nikki Seriki.
I need a stirring up right now. Stirring up.
Word on the street is Mr. Seriki will be with us tomorrow on the original, and some call it by far the best soul food show out there. Wheels up 7 p.m. on that one. Granddad dancing in full effect, y'all.
Charged right out. It's time for me.
Gotta get props going out there to the unspoken word. Hold tight since 96. Thought I'd wear the t-shirt today, bruh. I think I'm due a visit. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. Shouts out to Miss Nikki Seriki. She was live on Premier Gospel's breakfast show with eBay on Saturday morning. We jumped on with her as well. We were on the chat with her. Shouts out to eBay, of course, for always making sure that great gospel music gets to the forefront. Much love, my brother.
But here's the good news. We've been on.
And we had Nikki Finest. I'm telling you, that lady is a live wire, you know. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm going to have PKS. She is going to be with us. Patricia Knight Scott, talking about all that glitters may not be gold. You know, I know a poem about that. You know, I might just say it while she's on the show, actually. Yeah, you got completely forgotten about that one, actually. But I do know a poem about all that glitters is not gold. So a couple of great guests this week, as I said. So Patricia's on today. Our dearest friend, Ms. Nikki Finest, is on the original show. Q-Time Chords tells me it's 40 minutes past the top of the hour, 16 minutes before the bottom of the hour. 16 minutes away from the Bible reading. So, you know, I've got to do the clarion call, right? I did say I wanted to talk about this. As much as, for me, I am just celebrating the great success that England had to make it to a final. Most countries don't even make it to a final. A final is, you know, that's where you go up against, you know, the opposition, which should be, you know, the best, really, because they, you know, at the end of the day, they beat you. But I think what was a bit disconcerting after I watched the match, I think it was the seconds afterwards, my dear friend Mr. Leroy Brown started messaging me and telling me that, look, hey, there's a whole load of racist abuse going out there to the three guys that missed the penalty. Now, if you didn't watch the match was a really good match. England scored kind of like within a couple of minutes, and Italy equalised a little bit later on. Went into overtime and England still held on. And then eventually it came to penalties. You know, if anybody that knows anything about England and penalties, I just don't know why we're just not really great at penalties. But
to break all our
pretty much know if it's a penalty shootout, we don't win. I don't know what it is, but it just happens that way, you know. So you got to win if you got to win on the pitch, I think, which is I think that's great. So unfortunately, with the 3 penalty takers that missed their penalties all happen to be black football players. Now you have to bear in mind, right? And let's put this in context, right? You have to bear in mind that, you know, at the beginning of the match, they take the knee. You know, the opposing team took the knee as well for Black Lives Matter. I'm not a subscriber to Black Lives Matter. I'm not. But, you know, it's some form of acknowledging that we don't want racism in the match, right? At all. Racism should be rooted out completely. And, you know, then you find that these guys who have given their heart, their soul, their, you know, everything in order for England to get this far, you know. These guys have played on different rotations and have done so many things. I just want to talk about this and then you can get back to what we're doing. And they have played in matches. They played in the qualifiers. They have gone through the knockout stages. They've gone through the group stages. They've done everything that they needed to do as a group in order to get them this far. So now, why would you now vilify them because of the color of their skin and they missed the penalties? Remember, the current and not to dig things up in the past, but you know, the current England manager, Gareth Southgate, you know, he was famous for missing a penalty, you know, back then, and nobody abused him because of the color of his skin. So it just seems really horrendous that you know, all of a sudden, you know, these horrible people online would now pick out these, you know, and, you know, Saka's a young guy as well, 19 or 20 or something like that. You know, pick out these young guys to just begin to, you know, hound them and bully them into, I don't know what you want to do for them to quit football. You know, what is the purpose and process? And, you know, if they had won, on the other hand, you know, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this out there, because I've noticed the coverage as well. I'm independent. I don't owe nobody nothing at all. You know, we are self-funded. You know, we rely on your goodwill in order for the station to stay up. I am not part of any big chain, so I can speak my mind. The coverage of this Euros has been absolutely poor, in my opinion, by the media. You know, Raheem Sterling, who was integral in England getting this far, had been marginalised in most of the press reports. You know, in the England-Germany match, we spoke about it as well, that, you know, you would have thought that Raheem Sterling wasn't even part of the team. Talk less of him actually scoring a goal that helped England to win 2-0 over Germany, which was an epic win. Probably in the eyes of the English, probably that was even a bigger win than actually going to the final, to be honest. But anyway, we leave that one out. But, you know, it's a crying shame when, you know, you can see that racism is alive, it's well, and it is thriving in the UK. And I don't care what anybody says, you know, when the right time comes, it is done. It can be done overtly, like they did on Twitter and Facebook and all these other social media platforms that they were, you know, actively just out and out calling people racist names and blaming them for stuff. Alternatively, it can be done covertly by they just omit the fact that there was any black or ethnic minority influence in the fact that England got this far. And as I said, and as for me, you know, if you've got any comments, please feel free. I would be glad to hear your thoughts. Shouts go down to boy Paul Payne. I will play that one a little bit later on. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
I cannot explain, according to my brain.
That's a whole nother thing as well. I wonder why those three players who had come on, who could have influenced the game immensely if they'd come on a lot earlier, have now been come on to, you know, they've now come on to take the penalties towards the end. I don't know if there's been any news updates. Someone else might be out there, Shoggy or DJ Jide may well know if there's any updates as to why those guys that were substituted and came on were the guys that were used for the penalties.
We'll keep the faith and say in just a few short days.
I did have a thought about that. I did say, you know, maybe it was because they may well have not, the Italian team may not have been thinking of those guys as the potential penalty takers. So they would have studied maybe, maybe someone like Sterling. But then again, you had Harry Kane taking a penalty as well. So I don't know. But, that might have been my thought process, that they may well have thought, well, we'll catch them off guard by doing an unusual selection. And just really hope that maybe throws them off. I don't know. Maybe Gareth has an explanation for that. But I thought that was really bizarre when you have some really great guys that are on the pitch that I think do really well in penalties. I mean, Sterling's pretty all right when it comes to penalties as well. And I'm sure a couple of the other team, I can't remember the names, but anyway, that you would have thought keep them on and they'd be good taking penalties. But, was it a sacrificial lamb thing that they thought, well, we don't think we're going to make it, but what we do is we're just going to sacrifice these guys in front of the world. And, if that's it kind of thing. Okay, enough of the talking, enough of the political views. Let's do this one, the other side. Pastor Angie Cleveland. Absolutely love this woman of God. Anytime I play her track, she always hits me back and says, thanks, DJ Val.
I prophesy on the other side of this, in just a few short days. I be sitting on the other side. Oh, victory. I'll be sitting in victory.
We've got to say hi and going out to Demi Dial, Sungo P. Harry, outside Auntie Talima, Auntie Yosef, all the Federal Government College Laurie, old boys, and it calls old girls, class of 1983. I say this to you guys, pro unitate. See, we speak Latin, that's how,
Victory.
Just going to my brother, Mr. Leroy Brown, was chilling out with him.
Yes, I will. Victory. I will. In just a few short days, I will be sitting.
This one, you were walking down the road and maybe, I tell you, after the Bible reading, someone remind me, I'll tell you the story, it was hilarious. A guy came up to us, an England fan, and had a very interesting conversation. And let's not even talk about the unnecessary violence that was that took part in and around the stadium and in the West End as well. Just bear in mind, if this had been something like Carnival, you would have seen the tear gas coming out, you would have seen everything, right? You got to put this into context, because anytime there's any problem of that kind, again, the institution's response is completely different. How can people be breaking into Wembley Stadium? How can you do that on an epic, an occasion like that? That's where your sensibilities are. You're going to break into Wembley Stadium so that you can, and they're smashing up things in the West End. I mean, and I think that's all I will say about that one. And if you were involved in that, maybe you have an opinion. Maybe you'd like to share it with me. But if this had been anywhere else in the world, this would not have happened.
And like no other.
Gonna do this one brand spanking new by Sarah Tabo from the Restored album, which is available sometime soon, I think. This one is called Belong to You.
But still you shower me, so my praise flows like a river, burns like a fire, now and forever. It all belongs to you. It belongs to you. Oh, it belongs to you. It belongs to you. Oh, it belongs to you. It belongs to you. You keep your promise. You never fail me because you're not.
Oh, I like this one,
You're not and I never worry when things get crazy, 'cause I know you have a plan. So my praise flows like a river, burns like a fire, now and forever. It all belongs to you. It belongs to you. Oh, it
This is the Soul Food Gospel Show with DJ Val.
In the times when life becomes a fight, your love is a fire blazing through the night. Your promises are written in my heart to remind me your faithfulness is guaranteed for life. You fight for me when troubles come, and I'm grateful, Lord.
Sounds a little Miss Roni.
Everything you've done, you're my protector, my defender. I'm holding on to forever. My protector, my defender. I'm holding on to forever. I can't let go. Kule gacha. I'm holding on to forever. I can't let go. Kule gacha. I'm holding on to forever. Forever. I'm holding on to forever.
Probably we get more opportunity to talk about it. You know, we got our guest coming on a little bit later on, but you know, I think I'm going to ask her actually. You know, because you know, we can't pretend. And remember, you know, some of us have got children, and if we don't have children, we have nieces, nephews, family, friends, kids that are growing up in this environment that you know, says one thing, but they really act completely differently. So
the shadow of your wings, I find rest and security. Oh,
you know, it just makes you wonder. You know, if those guys had scored, right, and had won, you would have seen a completely different reaction. But you know, it's almost like you're only as good as the last bit of service that you offer towards you know, the powers that be.
and I won't fall away. You're my protector, my defender. I'm holding on to forever.
If you've got an opinion, thought, or idea, you can hit me on the also secret WhatsApp number +44 7960 21937.
Holding on to
+44 07960 219 Mind went somewhere, had to bring it back. Don't worry, still got the ability to run those multiple futures. Shouts going down there to Spiky John, OJ Simpson, and of course the blended beauty duo all the way up there in sunny Manchester. Talking about sunshine's absolutely pants today. I did get on my bike, but it was a real struggle. Got home a little bit late after watching the footy. Which is not really a great thing, because I'm normally in bed an early person, and then still back to it was a struggle getting up today, I'm telling you. But I said, you know what, now is it's you know, it's a mind over matter thing. So I got up and I went, and even my average speed was like, it was really poor, but I just said, you know, I'm just gonna keep going. It was windy, it was wet, just a little bit of a chill in the air. I think I should have maybe layered up a little bit more, but anyway, still managed about 13 miles, so not too bad. And do remember, if you want to join us as we exercise to get keep our bodies in check and in motion and doing good, there's a great app out there called Strava. I'm not sponsored by Strava, but it's just a nice way for you to check up on your friends, their progress as they do regular exercise, man. Remember, it is small steps. Outside Little Miss Roni, inside our Bible reading for today. And as you know, our Bible reading is taken from the Bible Experience. I believe it still remains, until we have the audio Super Bible as a good comparison, the best way for you to enjoy God's marvelous and, of course, miraculous word. We are reading from the book of Ezra, and it's Ezra 7 and Ezra 8. I believe it is about 11 or 12 minutes today, and of course we shall be right back with the music.
The book of Ezra continued. After these things, during the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, son of Seraiah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shallum, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Meraioth, the son of Zerahiah, the son of Uzai, the son of Bukai, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra came up from Babylon. He was a teacher, well versed in the law of Moses, which the Lord, the God of Israel, had given. The king had granted him everything he asked, for the hand of the Lord his God was on him. Some of the Israelites, including priests, Levites, musicians, gatekeepers, and temple servants, also came up to Jerusalem in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes. Ezra arrived in Jerusalem in the 5th month of the 7th year of the king. He had begun his journey from Babylon on the 1st day of the 1st month, and he arrived in Jerusalem on the 1st day of the 5th month, for the gracious hand of his God was on him. For Ezra had devoted himself to the study and observance of the law of the Lord, and to teaching its decrees and laws in Israel. This is a copy of the letter King Artaxerxes had given to Ezra the priest, a teacher of the law, a man learned in matters concerning the commands and decrees of the Lord for Israel.
Artaxerxes, King of Kings, to Ezra the priest, teacher of the law of the God of heaven, greetings. Now I decree that any of the Israelites in my kingdom, including priests and Levites, who volunteer to go to Jerusalem with you, may go. You are sent by the king and his 7 advisors to inquire about Judah and Jerusalem with regard to the law of your God, which is in your hand. Moreover, you are to take with you the silver and gold that the king and his advisors have freely given to the God of Israel, whose dwelling is in Jerusalem, together with all the silver and gold you may obtain from the province of Babylon, as well as the freewill offerings of the people and priests for the temple of their God in Jerusalem. With this money, be sure to buy bulls, rams, and male lambs, together with their grain offerings and drink offerings, and sacrifice them on the altar of the temple of your God in Jerusalem. You and your fellow Israelites may then do whatever seems best with the rest of the silver and gold, in accordance with the will of your God. Deliver to the God of Jerusalem all the articles entrusted to you for worship in the temple of your God, and anything else needed for the temple of your God that you are responsible to supply, you may provide from the royal treasury. Now I, King Artaxerxes, decree that all the treasures of Trans-Euphrates are to provide with diligence whatever Ezra the priest, the teacher of the law of the God of heaven, may ask of you, up to 100 talents of silver, 100 cores of wheat, 100 baths of wine, 100 baths of olive oil, and salt without limit. Whatever the God of heaven has prescribed, let it be done with diligence for the temple of the God of heaven. Why should his wrath fall on the realm of the king and of his sons? You are also to know that you have no authority to impose taxes, tribute, or duty on any of the priests, Levites, musicians, gatekeepers, temple servants, or other workers at this house of God. And you, Ezra, in accordance with the wisdom of your God which you possess, appoint magistrates and judges to administer justice to all the people of Trans-Euphrates, all who know the laws of your God. And you are to teach any who do not know them. Whoever does not obey the law of your God and the law of the king must surely be punished by death, banishment, confiscation of property, or imprisonment.
Praise be to the Lord, the God of our ancestors, who has put it into the king's heart to bring honor to the house of the Lord in Jerusalem in this way, and who has extended his good favor to me before the king and his advisors and all the king's powerful officials. Because the hand of the Lord my God was on me, I took courage and gathered leaders from Israel and those registered with them who came up with me from Babylon during the reign of King Artaxerxes. Of the descendants of Phinehas, Gershom. Of the descendants of Ithamar, Daniel. Of the descendants of David, Hattush. Of the descendants of Shechaniah. Of the descendants of Parosh, Zechariah. And with him were registered 150 men. Of the descendants of Pahath Moab, Elihoenai, son of Zerahiah, and with him 200 men. Of the descendants of Zattu, Shechaniah, son of Jehaziel, and with him 300 men. Of the descendants of Adin, Ebed, son of Jonathan, and with him 50 men. Of the descendants of Elam, Jeshaiah, son of Athaliah, and with him 70 men. Of the descendants of Shephatiah, Zebediah, son of Michael, and with him 80 men. Of the descendants of Joab, Obadiah, son of Jehiel, and with him 218 men. Of the descendants of Bani, Shalomith, son of Josephiah, and with him 160 men. Of the descendants of Bebai, Zechariah, son of Bebai, and with him 28 men. Of the descendants of Azgad, Johanan, son of Hakatan, and with him 110 men. Of the descendants of Adonikam, the last ones whose names were Eliphalet, Jeuel, and Shemaiah, and with them 60 men. Of the descendants of Bigvai, Uthai, and Zachar, and with them 70 men. I assembled them at the canal that flows toward Ahava, and we camped there 3 days. When I checked among the people and the priests, I found no Levites there. So I summoned Eleazar, Ariel, Shemaiah, Elnathan, Jarib, Elnathan, Nathan, Zechariah, and Meshullam, who were leaders, and Joarib, and Elnathan, who were men of learning, and I ordered them to go to Iddo, the leader in Cassifiah. I told them what to say to Iddo and his associates, the temple servants in Cassifiah, so that they might bring attendance to us for the house of our God. Because the gracious hand of our God was on us, they brought us Sherebiah, a capable man, from the descendants of Melai, son of Levi, the son of Israel, and Sherebiah's sons and brothers, 18 in all, and Heshabiah, together with Jeshaiah from the descendants of Merari, and his brothers and nephews, 20 in all. They also brought 220 of the temple servants, a body that David and the officials had established to assist the Levites. All were registered by name. There, by the Ahava Canal, I proclaimed a fast, so that we might humble ourselves before our God, and ask him for a safe journey for us and our children with all our possessions. I was ashamed to ask the king for soldiers and horsemen to protect us from enemies on the road, because we had told the king, "The gracious hand of our God is on everyone who looks to him, but his great anger is against all who forsake him." So we fasted and petitioned our God about this, and he answered our prayer. Then I set apart 12 of the leading priests, namely Sherebiah, Hashabiah, and 10 of their brothers, and I weighed out to them the offering of silver and gold, and the articles that the king, his advisors, his officials, and all Israel present there had donated for the house of our God. I weighed out to them 650 talents of silver, silver articles weighing 100 talents, 100 talents of gold, 20 bowls of gold valued at 1,000 derricks, and 2 fine articles of polished bronze as precious as gold. I said to them, "You as well as these articles are consecrated to the Lord. The silver and gold are a freewill offering to the Lord, the God of your ancestors. Guard them carefully until you weigh them out in the chambers of the house of the Lord in Jerusalem before the leading priests and the Levites and the family heads of Israel." Then the priests and Levites received the silver and gold and sacred articles that had been weighed out to be taken to the house of our God in Jerusalem. On the 12th day of the first month, we set out from the Ahava Canal to go to Jerusalem. The hand of our God was on us, and he protected us from enemies and bandits along the way. So we arrived in Jerusalem, where we rested 3 days. On the 4th day, in the house of our God, we weighed out the silver and gold and the sacred articles into the hands of Merimoth, son of Uriah the priest. Eleazar, son of Phinehas, was with him, and so were the Levites, Jozabad, son of Jeshua, and Noadiah, son of Benui. Everything was accounted for by number and weight, and the entire weight was recorded at that time. Then the exiles who had returned from captivity sacrificed burnt offerings to the God of Israel. 12 bulls for all Israel, 96 rams, 77 male lambs, and, as a sin offering, 12 male goats. All this was a burnt offering to the Lord. They also delivered the king's orders to the royal satraps and to the governors of Trans-Euphrates, who then gave assistance to the people and to the house of God.
Inspired by the Bible Experience.
Wanted to come back and play this Paul Payne track because you didn't get to hear it properly. This one's called Raw.
I'm taking a step, I'm paying my dues. Invisible man, no showing no clues. I'm breaking the rules, no time to snooze. Feeling myself, no time to choose. Surgery, come for me, I'll rip your heart. Play me twice, I'm Mr. Price who pay you back with no remorse. Soaring high, I'm getting close. Reaching for the life I chose. I'm here for domination, past the competition. He killed the old soul, I'm the new edition. Probably be official in this generation. Giving out a little hope, call it inspiration.
I just had another message on WhatsApp during the break.
The booth, I see them, he's the one.
The person's asked to remain anonymous, but they use the term sacrificial lambs.
My frenemies, never thought you'd see me here. Now I see you dropping jaws that tell stage, I hold it down. I'm back to the best.
So we are just checking in with your responses and your thoughts. If you, how did you feel about the match? First of all, do you think England did really well? I think they did absolutely amazingly, all things considered. I think it was a fantastic. you know, to go full time and it be 1-1 against. This was against a very formidable Italian team.
Make a mosh pit when we're in the building. Energetic souls, we about to shut it down everywhere that we bold.
Anyway, this one's Paul Payne and Demonstrate. I should stop talking over his track, right?
Party.
Otherwise I'll get in trouble.
Oh God, crazy. The metal always be banging, yeah, we're here. It's the main event.
I will say this, if you want to catch the interview with Paul Payne 837 service courtesy of Soul Food Gospel.
If I chop it sober on God. Brian Chamba Weber Uje. If they wanna see the boy, they should push you on speed. Been a money lucky. I have to get in shape. Cool if ever wanna value. And I have to get my heart. Come and joka Momo Sanga. Never been.
Old time Missy Mara Joyce and Chom.
Wolf on me.
Granddad dancing in full effect, y'all.
Yamula Nabagi is the road to my greatness.
Sounds of our boy all the way from Zambia, Paul Payne 837. Want to say hi to a couple of our station partners. Want to say shouts going out there to Throne Cannon, all the way out there in Kentucky, and Angel of Melody International Radio Network, courtesy of my dear friend Angel of Melody herself, Tonya Johnson, all the way out there in Detroit,
according to my
Motor City, Michigan.
but I choose to follow you. My feelings all over the place.
I have to be careful when I do that play on demand. Got to do this one faithful, right? One Day featuring a Lundy. Was it Lundy featuring One Day? If you just joined us, a very great afternoon to you. Welcome indeed to Old FM's Drive Time. We are adding a little soul to your soul. Shouts out to DJ Giant. Your message was I got it. Thank you so much. It's always nice to hear from you guys, you know. At Shoggy Tosh, live and direct Sunday morning, we had a little bit of encouragement together, and DJ Jade sent me a lovely message as well. So thank you so much indeed. Your love to me is immeasurable.
I let go of it all for you. They don't know me the way you do. Show me what I'm called to.
And I will get back to you, DJ Jad. I do air the shows in case you are listening, actually. In fact, I've been airing them. They don't just come on randomly. They do have slots every Saturday. I use that to fill up my Saturday afternoon slots for the people who listen via Soul Food Gospel Radio 24-hour streaming solution. I better say hi going out there to the other DJ Val while he takes a break, and to everyone else out there on the 24-hour streaming radio solution over there at soulfoodgospel.com. So if you don't want the video and you just want music to be running continuously in the background, go check that out. Go over to soulfoodgospel.com, look for the 24/7 link, click on that, and that will take you right through to the 24-hour streaming solution.
Faithful in all your ways, faithful in all your ways, faithful in all your ways.
Know the deepest pieces of me, yeah. Know my secrets and still you never leave, no. Your love heals us, that unconditional. This not traditional, real love. When you come through, I ain't never got a question up or feel love. Your word stands the test of time. That's why you always on my mind. This kind of love on our divine, oh
Also want to give a quick shout going out there to my very, very dear friend, Lady Vanessa Parisville of the Smooth Gospel Jazz Show over there at Rack Radio. We also have that show. I know when that one is. That one is 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock on Saturday, you can catch the Smooth Gospel Jazz Show. I'm going to slide it into the Spotify as well. I'll tell you why, because I think somebody said that they'd like to have those shows. So I may well just pop Praise Party. I do Praise Party. I do Be Inspired and Rhythm Divine. All three of those shows go out. Well, not live, but they go out. So I couldn't say live. That would be unfair. They all go out live on Saturday, but I think I'm going to slide them into my podcast as well, into my Spotify and into my Apple Music. So I should check with you guys to make sure it's all right first of all. but as they air on the show and they're on the 24-hour streaming solution, it'd be a good idea to have them into Apple Podcasts, I guess, as different shows that make up part of the Soul Food Gospel Show. Answers on a postcard, please, DJ Jide. If you have any objections, do let me know. Q-Time Course tells me it's 8 minutes before the top of the hour. 8 minutes before we take a pause for the cause. We go for the news. Brand new record of the week this week, and you're gonna love this one, right? Especially curated to honor my guest who's gonna be with us a little bit later on, PKS Patricia Knight Scott. I chose Glitters.
Hi, this is singer-songwriter Bisola, and you're listening to DJ Val on Soul Food Gospel.
Absolutely love this track. Chandler Moore's Man of Your Word.
Here we go. This is what it says. All things are possible when we believe. Old chains are breakable when we receive Yahweh. You keep your promises. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it, hey. If you said it, we believe it. Hey. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. You're a man. Say, you're a man of your word. Hey, say,
yeah, all things are possible when we believe, and old chains are breakable when we receive Yahweh. You keep your promises. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it,
if you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. Yeah. 'Cause you're a man of your word. We have this confidence. You finish what you started. God, you have never failed. You won't stop with me. You're present in every step, patient in every heartache. God, you have never failed. You won't stop with me. Oh, oh, oh. Everybody rock like, hey, hey. Hey, one time, say, yes, if you said it, we believe it. Hey, yeah. If you said it, we believe it. Why, y'all? 'Cause you're a man of your word. If you said it, we believe it. You're faithful to perform it. Yeah. If you said it, we believe it. You're a man. Say, you're a man of your word. Say, we have this confidence. Say, we have this confidence. You finish what you started. God, you never failed. You have never failed. You won't stop. Patient with us, present with every step, patient in every heartache. God, you have never failed. You won't stop with me. You won't start with me.
And as the racist abuse continues to mount from all kinds of different places,
If you said it, we believe it.
it's absolutely unbelievable what people were doing. Why didn't they? Although I smile, but so when they were winning and when they were getting through to the Euros, why was nobody calling them names and whatever, and being, you want to win, and I've got to say this, right? Just going to Gary Revelation Dixon. I will say this, you cannot change or rewrite history to suit you. The England team had a significant black contingent, whether you like it or not. All right, that allowed you to get to where you've got to, and it is because of that significant black contingent of young, very gifted, passionate players that allowed us to get to the finals. And if you just need to track your previous history before, and you will see where you got with what you had, basically speaking. And I am not anti-white, I am pro-black. There's a big difference, right? And we have to say it as we see it. I just want to say this to anybody who feels, and this is just my opinion, let your children know where you really come from, because I will say this, one of the best things, somebody was asking me about this the other day, one of the best things that ever happened to me was going back to Nigeria when I was about 12, 13, against my will. I didn't really want to go, but going back there allowed me to identify with my origins of where I come from. I am, I own a British passport, but I'm Nigerian. Go figure. It's a bit like what we do in church, right? We always look for the root meaning of the word, right? You go back to the root, to the initial instance, right? There's things in there called the law of first mention, where the first time it ever happens. And that's really what we need to do with ourselves and our identity. Go back to that original place where you've come from. Not because you've been transported, repositioned, redeployed to a different place, and then you take on their culture and you think this is it. This is not it, You are multifaceted, and that's why you have the skin color that you have. God is truly a man of his word. Sounds a Child Lamore on the original. Some call it by far the very best soul food show out there. No, it's not the original show. Oh my goodness gracious me. So see, I'm getting impassioned about this. It's a late lunch show alongside your boy DJ Val. No. It's not a Tuesday evening. It's a Monday afternoon. We are going into the news and the record of the week and a few well-placed adverts. A little bit. Well, actually, right now, I think. Actually, let's do this. I want to see whether or not I can get our brother, Mr. Shuggy Tosh. Maybe he might be able to come on. Maybe it's at some point this week. But I really want to. You can't just let this one go under the radar, folks. We have to really say something. And I know, that there's talking, but there's also not ignoring something and letting it become a thing that people feel that they can get away with it. I mean, this should be dominating the news right now. But and I am what we shall see how long that lasts, right? News cycles last for about a week, and then they'll find something a little bit more juicy for them to comment on, right? We're going for the news break. Shall see you.
In the news this week, an attempt to introduce abortion on demand up to birth is abandoned. Nearly 200 medics oppose legalising assisted suicide in Scotland. And the High Court hears how the current abortion law discriminates against those with Down syndrome. Hello. A plan to introduce abortion on demand up to birth in England and Wales has been withdrawn. The amendment to the Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts Bill would have repealed all legal safeguards around abortion, facilitating abortion at any time and for any reason or none. The proposal, tabled by Diana Johnson MP, was severely criticised by a number of her colleagues. Fiona Bruce described it as truly shocking. New Clause 55 has no place in a compassionate, civilised and humane society. During the debate, MPs repeatedly drew attention to the high number of calls and emails they had received from constituents, urging them to oppose the change. Bob Blackman said he had received more emails and calls about New Clause 55 than any other measure since being elected to the House 11 years ago. The Institute's Deputy Director, Kieran Kelly, welcomed the news.
This is really great news, and what was noticeable that MP after MP spoke about how many emails and phone calls and letters they had received on this issue. And they were coming not just from our supporters, but from many others around the country. And I hope that they're encouraged that they can make a real Christian difference when they write into their MP, and not just on this issue, but on the issue of religious liberty, end-of-life issues and other things, to contact MPs and make their voice heard.
Almost 200 healthcare professionals have expressed their opposition to a new bill to legalise assisted suicide in Scotland. MSP Liam MacArthur is proposing to remove legal protections for vulnerable patients who are terminally ill. But in an open letter to Health Secretary Humza Yousaf, doctors and nurses from across the country pledged to care for the safety and well-being of their patients, even if asked to do otherwise. The medics reminded the Health Secretary that every human life is of immeasurable worth and that no one should be deprived of that life intentionally. We would not take patients' lives, even if they asked us to, but for the sake of us all and for future generations, we ask that the law remains unchanged. The High Court has ruled that men who identify as women can be housed with female prisoners in England and Wales. Ministry of Justice policy currently allows women's prisons to house men who say they wish to live permanently as if they were the opposite sex. A female prisoner known as FDJ had challenged the policy after she was assaulted in 2017 by a man convicted for sex offences who identified as a woman. Although the judges conceded it could have a significant psychological impact on female prisoners, they decided the policy is lawful and that a specialist panel should decide the placement of male inmates on a case-by-case basis. FDJ said she was disappointed by the ruling. Men who have a history of violence and sexual offending against women should not be in a situation where they can put our safety at risk. And finally, the High Court has heard that the current law on abortion stereotypes and demeans those with Down syndrome. James Coppell QC made the comments while representing Heidi Crowther and Moya Lee Wilson, who argue that the UK's abortion law is discriminatory. Currently, abortion is permitted up to 24 weeks for most reasons, but is available at full term for children deemed to have a severely life-limiting condition, including Down syndrome. Coppell said this is incompatible with the European Convention on Human Rights and is a contributory cultural cause of abuse against those with Down syndrome. Lee Wilson said she wanted her son Aidan, who has the condition, to grow up knowing he's not someone people have to cope with. He's not a burden to society. He is a wonderful human being in his own right. Speaking to the Institute after the hearing was announced, Heidi Crowther outlined why she believes the abortion law is unfair to preborn babies with Down syndrome.
But the reason I'm bringing this case is because I am someone who has Down syndrome and I will not tolerate discrimination. Also, discrimination against my husband, and I love my husband so much. And see the person behind me as a chromosome. The key point is to maintain equality in the womb.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.
The world has changed. People are no longer meeting and congregating as they normally would. We at Soul Food Gospel are acutely aware of the demand for well-managed online virtual events. We are launching a new division called Soul Food Gospel Events. This is a dedicated company with the sole purpose of managing your virtual events. We are taking our learning and technologies from the Soul Food Gospel shows, coupled with the maturity of our platforms, and for the first time ever, allowing you, the public, the opportunity to host your events via our established and robust media outlets. If you have an event of any kind that you want professionally managed and hosted, please reach out to us on +44 07960 219 366 or email us at soulfoodoffice@gmail.com. So, whether you're arranging a concert, book launch, live interviews, conferences, funerals, christenings, baby dedications, weddings, whatever your event is, if it needs to be streamed, we should be your number one choice.
The most powerful stories that have been told for thousands of years are going to be heard like never before. Immersive ambiance of the Holy Land, uncompromising quality of 3D sound, 250 passionate voices, one book that shaped the history of the mankind.
Yes, you, O Lord my God, have done many wondrous deeds, and in your plans for us, there is none to equal you.
I think that was incredibly unique about this project. I've never worked on a project that has casted that many voice actors, and you know, there's a lot of incredible names, and I'm sure I'll find out once this comes out about some voice actors that were in it that will kind of boggle my mind and be like, whoa, that's really cool.
It's kind of neat to know that there's people from all over the world really involved in this project.
Join us on this breathtaking journey. Win a role in the world's biggest audio play. Take part in the contest now. The Audio Bible Super Production. Stories that unite.
Are you planning an event? We've created a one-stop solution for all your events needs. Find vendors for different aspects of your event, from event planners to musicians, photographers, videographers, MCs, DJs, venues, equipment and more. Everything you'll need for a successful event is on the Yev app. To get started, download the app from your app store. Sign up to create your free account. Log in to your account. Choose any service you want and submit your event details. Next, approve the service provider of your choice. Pay for the service and you're good to go. Afterwards, confirm the completion of your event and leave a review of your service provider. The days of stressing over an upcoming event are over. Get the Yev app and easily book professional and reliable events personnel and equipment in a transparent way. Yev, here for your events.
Hey there, are you looking for ways to occupy your young children during lockdown? Or are you looking for a fun, light-hearted, gentle way of discussing with them the really difficult topics concerning racism and race that are happening all around the world? Well, you can use my musical resource, Different But Alike, packed with physical activities, discussion points, scenarios, guidance, karaoke material, cartoon videos, and instrumental tracks, but based around a song with the lyrics, "Everybody's colour is a beautiful sight. No one's invisible. We all have our shine, different but alike." This resource will get you singing, moving, talking, and thinking. So head over to difficultdiscussionseasysongs.com and get your resource at an affordable price right now. See you there.
The Soul Food Show, Record of the Week.
Wow, you look stunning.
Oh, thank you.
I love your bracelet as well.
Oh, God. Not all that glitters is gold.
Why'd you say that?
Oh, it's a long story.
Okay.
Let the truth or story be told. Now all that glitters is gold. If the truth or story be told. Oh, look at me, yeah. You will see it's good as it can be. Look a little harder, you will find the beauty of the Creator. Now all that glitters is gold. All that glitters. Let the truth or story be told. Now all that glitters is gold. If the truth or story be told. It wasn't easy. Took a number of tries. All you see is all that glitters. You never saw the light. Now all that glitters is gold. Let the truth or story be told. Let the truth be told. Now all that glitters is gold. Let all that glitters. If the truth or story be told. Dare to hope and dare to dream. Make life as good as it can be. What you sow is what you reap. What you see is what you get. Be real and don't expect.
Yeah, everything that glitters ain't gold, yeah, that is apparent. Every couple doesn't always have the happiest marriage. Everybody is unique, there's no need for comparing. Don't try to fit in, be you from your style and appearance. Remember, God is the light, He's the only one. Stop being jealous of what they got. You compare to none, you one of a kind in your own category. Everybody got their own journey and their own story. Yeah, let's go.
All that glitters is gold. All that glitters. Let the truth or story be told. All that glitters is gold. If the truth or story be told. Now all that glitters is gold. Let the truth or story be told. Now all that glitters is gold. If the truth or story be told.
As we make it back from the applause from the calls, got to give shouts going out there to PKS. We love that track. Something brand spanking new. All that glitters is not gold. Shouts going out to Hazel and Pariag, aka the Class Gap. She's on board too.
You've shown the Savior's heart.
Gotta play this one by FWB alongside Michael Oyor. Only Jesus.
consuming fire. Your mind, body, and soul. You set us aflame. We have the heart of Jesus. Love leads the way. Holy Spirit, you've revealed the heart of Jesus. You've crashed in upon our hearts. We're overtaken. Hearts of flame in you we burn for only Jesus. We'll live for only Jesus. Holy Spirit. Oh, you've had your way.
Oh, I gotta say, I like this one.
You show mercy's heart in heaven today.
Shouts going out to team over there at Lifecom Radio and equals LCBN TV.
Consuming fire, you set us aflame. DJ Val, play music for your mind, body, and soul. Because we have the heart of Jesus, love leads the way. Holy Spirit, you reveal the heart of Jesus. You've crashed in upon our hearts. We're overtaken. Hearts of flame in you we burn for only Jesus. Oh, we'll live for only Jesus. Holy Spirit, you reveal the.
Just want you to keep a dear friend of mine in your prayers. Dear brother Rupert Olibar.
Hearts of flame in you we burn for all.
Lost his son tragically a few days back, so please keep him in your prayers. It's not easy to lose a child, you know.
We'll live for Jesus. Oh, we'll live for Jesus. And I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. DJ Val, play music for your mind, body, and soul.
To follow Jesus, I have decided.
Great sounds of Michael Oyo alongside FWB. Those guys are straight out of the Oyo group. They do absolutely amazing, timeless worship music and great gospel tracks. Shouts going out to Michael and the whole team there. Grace Tenor, FWB. That's a little bit, somewhere around 10 minutes time, we should have PKS. She's going to be joining us. Tomorrow we have none other than Miss Nikki Finest Sariki. The upper week, if my memory serves me well, Dr. Verrill Howard. Jokia is going to be with us. Victoria Tunde is going to be with us too. And hopefully we're going to secure a date with Asha Ella. I think that's going to be around the 28th of July. And FYI, the summer mix is available for you guys to enjoy, absolutely free of charge. Courtesy of Mr. Alistair V. Alistair V said, Dad, you need to do a summer mix so the people them can have some music. So I thought about it. And we did it live, actually. We recorded that summer mix live on a Catch a Fire Friday. That is available in its entirety, just the music. For you to work out to. As I said, we're on this whole workout thing, right? So it's not a fad. It's become a way of life now. So I was moaning a bit that this morning I did not feel like getting up, man. Getting up out of my bed was just and then it was cold and it was raining and it was
And when I feel lost,
but you know what? Part of my my body said no, but my mind said yes.
I'll lay it at your feet. You make all things complete. Your love keeps walking me down, walking me down. Whenever I can do it on my own. Whenever I can do it on my own. Your love is helping me carry the load. Whenever I can do it on my own. Whenever I can do it on my own. cold, lonely, and more afraid. Then you come and take me by the hand, keeping your promises once again.
Just checking my Shuggy said I should be doing more WhatsApp stories, so expect a lot more communication on that platform from me.
Your love keeps walking me down the road. Whenever
Try and keep you engaged with some great content. Got some great content actually, so should take every opportunity to share it with you, right? Q-Time Chords tells me 7 minutes before the bottom of the hour. As we proceed to give you a late lunch experience on this post-match blues. I am still looking for reactions or any thoughts, any comments on the wonderful way that the England team were able to get to the finals, and then the apparent unnecessary backlash by certain certain racist elements out there as well. And I think the interesting thing, a lot of these people are undercover, so these are people that you could well be sitting down, you know, you might be going out to dinner with them, they could be your co-workers, but you know, they have this secret life of hating you as a person of color, which is only takes something to happen that really shows you what's really under the bonnet, as it were. Sounds of Miss Madeline Edwards. That one is called The Road. I know DJ Jai does like that one. I like this one, but it's That Boy Maxine featuring a Nande M.
Hey, come on, put your head.
I can see our guest is looking glamorous in the green room. Get it, glamorous in the green room. That's 2 G's. 2 words with G. Yes. DJ Val, you're doing well, man.
I'm a to be discovered.
All right, let me see if I can do some adjustments while she is in there, and hopefully I think after this track we should have none other than PKS Patricia Knight Scott's going to be with us live and direct on the Late Lunch Show.
I'm more than a conqueror. You will the world to me. Hey, you gave me everything. You gave me authority. The world belongs to me. You will the world to me. And you gave me everything. You gave me authority. The world belongs to me. You will the world to me. For your glory. You will the world to me. For your glory.
Like a nigga, I will shine everywhere that I go. Yeah, yeah. Like a nigga, everybody will see me flying. For your glory, I will shine and I will conquer the world. And with you by my side, and I can feel your presence beside me. When you're beside me, nobody can touch and hide me. Oh, no, no. And oh, no, 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 yeah, yeah. You will do unto me. You gave me everything. Ooh, you will do unto me. You gave me everything. Mweneni zakangiva kumpamvu zanu kulibezene zizanivuta.
The grace, the love, the favor, divinity in me, it's at work in me. The grace, the love, the favor, yeah, it's at work in me.
It's working in me. Grace, the love, the favor, it's working in me.
You will go on to me.
You will go on to me.
You gave me everything.
You gave me everything.
You gave me authority.
The all belongs to me.
You will go on to me.
You will go on to me.
Yeah.
You gave me everything. You gave me authority. The all belongs to me.
All authority's mine.
There you go, adjustments done. I've learnt now, because when I make those adjustments, my face goes a little bit funny while I'm really concentrating, and it looks like I've been necessary adjustments to the screens and everything like that. But I think if my guest is ready, if you give me a thumbs up, I am going to bring you on. And, oh, I get a double thumbs up, which means that she's ready ×2. So let's go over to the other studio. And, okay, that's not a great move. Let's try this one. And Hazel Ann is laughing at me. A very, very good afternoon going out there to you, Patricia.
Hi.
How are you? I'm laughing because
Fine.
I just did something really
It's
crazy
so
there,
nice
but
to
it's
see
all
you
right.
again.
It's always lovely to have you. I mean, you're often on Catch a Fire Friday, so it feels like you've not been away, to be honest. So that's always a great thing. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been all right. I've been good.
Okay, good.
Back doing a little bit of supply.
Oh, teaching,
So back
right?
in school.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay. How's that been?
Yeah,
Post
I thought
COVID.
I'd dip me toe in.
Yeah. You better mind that the whole foot and the rest of the body doesn't follow it as well, you know.
Well, they are trying to get me back in more often. I keep saying to them, no. I've got my music stuff to do. No. Yeah.
You should sing to them, you know. Then they'll realize
I
that.
do.
You do.
I do, and it makes it worse because then I'm in more demand.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness gracious me. Let me just touch up that camera a bit. That's better. It's a little bit brighter now. I was going for one of those
I
moody
bring my
looks.
tambourine to school, my dear.
You do? So
I bring my tambourine to school.
So what do you teach in school?
I'm supply, so I teach anything. That I tell them all the time, music's my speciality, but I barely get music. So I try to bring it into anything I have to teach. And the kids love it.
I love that, you know. Right, today we'll be studying Pythagoras' theorem. I don't know, they may not. So here's how we're going to do it, right? Get you to a beat. I love that, you know. But you know what? It's interesting you say that, but that is a really good way to remember things, right? In musical form, in a song kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Best subject actually that lends itself to music is French.
Really?
Yeah.
Why French?
I'm not because you can. There's a lot of French songs. Yeah. So, for instance, the song Ferrer Jacques.
Everybody knows that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but yeah, we sing it, yeah.
Oh gosh, I knew what it meant, you know. My friend is. Oh God, it's not. There's something like my friend is sleeping, but it's not that. No, I'm not going to say anything before I get myself into trouble.
Dorme.
I think it's something like my friend is sleeping, but it's not that. I don't think it's that. Yeah, or my brother is. Nah, anyway. Yeah, and I also use it to get the class to be quiet. So I use it as a disciplinary, or disciplinary? No, not disciplinary. As a control, a form of control.
This is
So
fascinating to me. Yeah, this is just fascinating.
yeah. So if I want the class to be quiet,
Yeah.
I'll prep them and I'll say, 2 taps, or when you hear this tune, you know that you need to stop talking, and you need to clap the timing back to me. So whatever timing I've got, if the noise level gets a bit too loud, I might just go, and then they just do it, and then the class goes quiet. But they actually love it.
I'm loving it as well. I'm loving it too.
With a tambourine. Yeah.
I'm loving that is wonder if that works on adults.
Yeah. If you've got a training course, as long as you prep people and let them know, how you're gonna control the situation, the class, or whatever. You prep someone. It's like when you're learning a new worship song. You'll go over the chorus. The praise and worship leader will say, right, this is how the song goes, and then sing a couple of lines, and then by the time that the chorus comes round, everybody's in. Because they've been prepped.
Yeah, but I like that idea of clapping and the kids there.
Yeah, class control.
You must be a hit,
especially the little ones.
Yeah,
the little ones love it.
So what age ranges do you teach?
All ages. The other day they called me and said, "Oh, please, Pat, can you teach some year ones?" And I said, I don't do babies.
Oh.
I said, okay, then just one, just today.
Yeah.
Because the babies, they are so absorbing. They're so the word is not even demanding, but you go in and they're like, Miss Johnny did this, Miss Johnny did that, Miss. And it's just like all day long, and it's like your head's going, so what do you want me to do then, Johnny? Because sometimes it's not you can't do anything about what they're asking, so give Johnny a hug. You just like, and you don't get breaks. In primary school, below, you don't get a break. You don't even get time to have a cup of tea. I don't like teaching. It's just too long a day.
I mean, I don't know much about teaching apart
very
from
short breaks.
Oh God, I'm just trying to move my thing around. It's just going all
I like the older ones, because the older ones you can have conversations. You can discuss topics. So, for instance, I went in the other day and I was actually teaching music, and I think the topic was about how would you, if you're becoming an artist, how would you? What was the word? What was the topic again? It was about getting people to kind of like know who you are if you were, a new artist.
Okay. Yeah.
And I thought, yay! That's right up my street.
Perfect, right?
So I said to them, I've got a song coming out. And and they were like, oh, Miss, can we follow you? Can we follow you on Instagram?
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you got a whole new cult following now.
About my song. And I thought, we're in the complete domain, and I was teaching values.
Yeah.
So it's like citizenship.
Okay. Yeah.
And basically it was about comparing yourself to others. Okay. And I said to them, that's exactly what my song talks about. And then we went into a discussion about my song and and then I played it to them. And I was like, wow, Miss, is that really you singing? I said, yes, it is. Can you sing us another song? And then they went and found me and played the whole all of my songs.
All of your songs, right? Going
All
way,
of my
way,
songs.
way back when, and they didn't realize that they were, you know, sitting, or they were being taught by somebody who's got like quite an illustrious career.
No,
they just see you
no,
as
not as in actually. No, one of the groups did go back to New Colours,
Yeah.
but the EP. Yeah, they played all the songs on the EP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, someone says Pharaoh Jacques means "Are you sleeping, brother John?"
All right.
Pharaoh
Yeah.
Jacques. Oh.
So are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, brother John? Brother John. Yeah, I think that's
It's really weird because I've sung that song for probably from when I could remember, right? And I've never really bothered to find out what it meant. Just now, how many years later on. No. But you know
but
what?
when you're going to school, you just, I don't know, you just want to find out things. So then you look into it.
Well, I think that's just really cool that, you know, the kids connected with you, and then it's like, wow. But you see, and that's why they need to just get you in that music thing, you know, teach music, because obviously that's your, you know, that's your spot, that's your area, you know, and
because I try to bring it in any way, shape or form. I try to bring it in, even when I was doing primary for a really short time with children with behaviour problems.
Yeah.
And I would start the day with some calm music. So when they entered my class, it was just music in the background.
Beautiful.
And then they would work, and I'd, you know, sometimes I'd have something like really kind of like, you know, and then I'd calm it down, and then they come in and it's coming. Can you play that music when we're doing art? I said, yeah, I'll play it when you're doing art, but I'm not going to play it when you're doing maths. You need you to concentrate.
You need to focus, right?
I don't want you to start going.
Well, I think that is just you know, that is a great way just to use your gift, you know, just to be able to, you know, as a way of being able to communicate. Because, you know, kids, I think everybody loves music, regardless of how, you know, whether you know, you're into a particular genre, style, or something like that. It's a great way to communicate. And, you know, I used to memorize things by singing. I make up these silly songs to memorize things, almost a bit like poems, but then you get this rhythm going of the because I used to like, I was terrible at school. I used to cram, so I need to memorize everything, and I could do it, but I have to add this kind of like rhythm to it, and then it would all go in, and then I'd get it all out on the paper, and then the minute I've left, I've forgotten everything. It's all gone.
Yeah. That was me.
That was you too.
I could memorize everything in the day, but then once I've memorized it, it's gone.
Yeah. I remember I actually, it's funny because my son's doing his mocks now, right? I'll give you this story. This is hilarious, right? I was doing mock, it was English literature. You know, I grew up in Nigeria. I did secondary school in Nigeria. And the book that we were using was Julius Caesar, right? Shakespeare's Julius Caesar was our text that we were using. And I'm not joking, I pretty much I'd memorized the whole book. I used to do these things, right, in school. It was like, because we were in boarding school, and like if I was short of a few quid, like, and I wanted something to eat, I'd say to them, open the book, read 2 or 3 words from it, and I would tell you where, when, what, and how. And that's how much I'd memorized the book. And I remember I did this exam, this mock exam, and I got failed. And I thought, you know, and then she put, you cheated. You know, that's what she put. You must have had a book. You cheated. And, you know, that was pretty much it. And everyone goes, oh, how do you feel about it? I said, I feel really good that she thought I cheated because I didn't.
Wow. But how could she prove it?
It was, I guess if you think that somebody is writing, because it's in my head and I know that the minute the question comes out, I'm virtually writing out pages of the, you know, the comments around things. And I guess in her book, in her eyes, nobody would spend time to memorize the book. Yeah, nobody could. So I felt kind of honored that she thought I cheated. I didn't, but, you know, it's just one of those things. And it's not to say I didn't cheat in other things, by the way, but I didn't cheat in that. But yeah,
But not that.
not that. In other stuff, it was cheat is probably not a good word to use, but let's just say we found other ways of trying to do stuff that just didn't really work out too well. But yeah, that was one of the subjects I liked, so I was pretty much 100 with it. And yeah, you got accused of something I didn't do. I've got a question for you. So you watch the football, right? Don't say no. You watched the football, right?
Did.
You did, right? I think the whole world watched the football.
Did. Well, you know, some people didn't watch it, and I was mortified. I was like, "You didn't watch it."
And what are your thoughts on the apparent backlash towards the guys that missed the penalties? Have you heard about that? Or what actually happened on social media?
I just heard about it. Somebody sent me something on WhatsApp late morning, and I just thought, I could see it coming.
Yeah.
It's not a shock, put it that way.
Yeah,
it's not a shock. It should be, but it's not. You know, when you grow up with something that is, you know, displayed all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're growing up and you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's just another thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you're right, because I think, you know, we're probably of an age where growing up it was very much in your face, and I don't think I get it, right?
Subtle.
Yeah, I kind of understand that you can't change a culture of people overnight. It didn't just suddenly miraculously get better and disappear. It just became something that they couldn't display openly towards you know the ethnic group. So you've got these pockets of people out there that, you know, feel very, very strongly about this you know, their racial you know, background and what they think about other ethnicities, but they just drive it underground to these kind of like you know, little underground places. And it was interesting because I think somebody a long time ago, well, not a long while ago, that someone was commissioned to do this report on racism, and they said there's no racism in England, and I can't remember his name, but
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It's recently, isn't it?
Yeah, it was recently. Yeah. They did this commission. They said no racism.
I find it. I don't know. There's just no words for that report. I just find it really. It's like, how can you say that? Don't you feel embarrassed even saying that?
Yep. Well, obviously, he didn't feel embarrassed,
people, you know, we've got our experiences, and you can't just take that away.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell you so many stories. I grew up in Tottenham. I'm a Tottenham girl, even though I'm in Bedfordshire now.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah.
In the country, when I first moved there, when me and John first got married, and I first moved, everybody called where I was living the country.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in the country, in the countryside.
Yeah.
I mean, I am on the very, very outskirts, so I can see how they would say that. I'm not in the city bit. I am on the outskirts, but country.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, anything outside of.
But I'm a Tottenham girl, so I saw all of the disparities and you know the racial. I wouldn't even call it undertones. They were overt when I was growing up, and I remember, you know, I could walk past Tottenham police station, and they were always beating up young black boys, and they were always being murdered in the cells.
Terrible.
I saw that all the time. It was nothing new. Nothing new. So when that riot broke out, with that guy, I can't remember his name, in Tottenham.
Yeah, the Mark Duggan
Yeah.
riots and stuff. Yeah.
When that happened, and I was married 20 years, and I'm thinking, 20 years on, and that's still happening.
Yeah.
I just thought, well.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I thought we'd made some strides. Racism, I thought we had made some strides. But 21st century, it feels like we've not made any progress at all.
None.
And that is what saddens me.
Yeah.
Because I thought we had made progress. I thought we had made progress, but
it's only to when a flashpoint happens, right, that you begin to see that, realistically, and again, this was not the plan. It's just that this has happened. These are events, and I know that you're you're a woman who's not of the world necessarily, but you're out there, so you know stuff, you hear stuff, and you see stuff as well. But I mean, the behavior of the fans was absolutely, it was ridiculous. They were smashing stuff up and trying to break into Wembley Stadium. And what goes in my mind, Patricia, is you think of something like Carnival, and the way that things are handled at Carnival, or when there's a protest of black people. I'm not saying Black Lives Matter, because that's a whole separate thing, but black people out genuinely protesting about something. The force that is used is completely different from from these hooligans that get away with stuff, and it's you can say it is what it is, but unless someone actually decides to make some changes from above, you can't change people's minds. I don't believe, right, and maybe you might hold to a different position. I don't believe you can change. So if somebody's a racist, I don't think you can change them if they're a racist like that, unless there has to be something that happens in their life. Either they get the love of Christ in them.
I think something has to come along. Yeah. But I think something has to come along and kind of like shine a light, and then they think, ooh, something like, for instance, something like my boss years ago, him telling me that, oh, my son would never go out with a black girl, never. That's not how he was. And when he said that to me, I was really shocked, because up until that point, working for him for about 4 years, I would never have thought of him as thinking that way, or have a racist bone in his body or anything like that.
Wow.
But when he was so adamant that no, his son would not want his son to go out with a black girl. And I said, but when he goes to university, he's going to come across all cultures.
Yeah.
And what if he brings a black girl home? What are you going to do then? He said, no, he wouldn't. And I was thinking to myself, well, you don't know. And that is a situation where, some light might be shed on someone if it comes to their family through the back door, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they have to deal with it.
Yeah.
They have to deal with it.
It's that's a very interesting statement, because his confidence was backed on the way that he's brought that child up.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's like there are some things, it's like saying, there are some things that are acceptable and there are some things that are not acceptable. And that is one that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
It's not an area or a road that you will go down. So don't, if you want to go, backpacking around the world for a couple of years, you can go off and go and do that. But the last thing you're going to do is bring a black girl home and say you're in love with her and you're going to marry her.
Yeah.
Wow. It's ingrained. It's ingrained, and it's really. I don't think you can legislate it out.
People can change because if people didn't change, then we wouldn't have Christ. know,
There you go.
we've got Paul on the Damascus Road. He was the worst person that you could know, and he changed.
Yeah. Change is there. I don't think you can legislate change in people's minds and hearts.
You can't legislate it.
Yeah, you can't. It has to be that you're right. It's that Damascus Road experience, isn't it? That you turn from being the oppressor to being part of the freedom fighters or the people with the struggle as well. So there is hope. We're not saying there's no hope, but
there's hope.
Yeah,
there's hope.
There has to be something monumental has to happen to really clean this up. But anyway. Yeah, but so thank you for your world report. That was absolutely really well done, considering we hadn't planned to go down there, and you just happened to be the person that comes up. But all great. So let's talk music. So we've got a brand new track from you. Congratulations, first of all. The track made the record of the week.
Oh, did it?
It sure did. Hold on.
Wow.
Yeah, it made the record of the week.
So helpful.
Yeah, it made the record of the week. And shall I tell you the funny thing? Guess how long it took me to work out that it would be the record of the week. In fact, I'm going to do better than tell you. I'm going to show you how long it took to be the record of the week. Okay, this is how long it took to be the record of the week. I hope you can hear this. Right, here we go.
Yeah.
That's all it took for it to become the record of the week. That was it.
God bless my brother Marcus Johnson. That's all I can say.
Is that
all
Marcus
I can say.
Uprise Music, Marcus? No?
Cap Music.
Cap Music, Marcus. Got it. Yep.
Yeah. So Lawrence Johnson's brother?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got quite a few bits and pieces and some old songs that I've written like years ago, and so we've been kind of like, drawing them out the cobwebs and saying, what can you do with this, Marcus? Can you just freshen it up and do this, do that? And then when he heard Glitters and because it's been on the cards, doing a remix, So he goes, I don't mind doing a remix of that. So I said, okay then. I said, all right. I said, do your magic then.
Yeah, good.
And then I think his wife overheard it, and she kind of like WhatsApped me, and she goes, it sounded bad, Pat. This is really, I can't wait to hear it. Yeah. And then he said it to me, and I was thinking, wow. That is really nice. It's because it's stripped back, but it's not.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of freshened up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Anything. I just went ooh when ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. So that's got to be the record of the week. And then of course.
And then remember, I was talking to you about the rap.
Yes.
Yeah. I was talking to you about in the very, very original song.
Yeah.
There was a rap on the original. Oh no, you played the video.
Okay, man, we upgraded here. We decided to make sure.
Yeah. So I always wanted like a rap on there, and I got my rap.
You sure did, man. Yeah. So who's the guy that did the rap for you? Who's the guy that did the rap?
A session artist.
Ah.
Yeah, so I never knew him before.
Okay. Because I was listening and I thought he really did sound like he was American.
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay.
You see this lockdown has made the world accessible. You don't have to pick anybody who's next door.
Oh.
The lockdown has really opened up the doors. Yeah.
Now I get it.
So when because listen, everybody's busy, and like, you know, sometimes you just don't get the chance to use who you really want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So
you just have to hiring a session person, innit?
So in the video, he shoots that bit in the video from wherever he is, right? In the video, right?
Look at my see that the skater Ellie.
Yeah.
She's at my church. She's from my church.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that you just pulled everybody in that you knew, right? You just said, right, I'm doing this video, be in it. Yeah.
Family and friends, and I had to like twist some arms. Yes, you are doing that bit. Because my daughter, see my daughter right there giving me my bracelet.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, mom, all self-conscious.
Yeah.
I said, no, you got to do it. You got to do it. I haven't got anybody else.
Family's always a good way to get them in, you know, because you don't have to really pay them, do you? It's like, the love that I gave you.
I brought you into this world. I give you everything.
Everything that you've needed, you know. For 9 months, I carried you, you know. The least you could do is appear on this. So I was saying, right, so on the video, but you're together with him. Is that him in the video? Is that someone else just filling in his part?
No.
Ah. Okay.
Why are you letting out all my secrets,
sorry. You know, I can't help talking.
You're not the only one, you know. Who's that? And who's that in the video? And who's that in the video? And who? Everybody's asking.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their favourites in the video as well.
Yeah, like, no, it's.
And who are the children? And who's the? And I'm like.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I hope I haven't ruined it for too many people. You know? It was just
family and friends. It's family and friends.
I was because it just intrigued me. I thought, oh, this is really, really good. And you know, I guess, you know, the part of video is you can do some magical stuff, which is the illusional part of it, right? You can make things look like they're not and stuff like that. But I hadn't really realized. If you hadn't have said anything. Right, yeah, no, not you're going to come here and go, no, actually, that was so anyway, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So just ruin the video, and I was like, oh, God, DJ Val, man. Yeah, not going to have her back on again. She's going to say, no, he ruins everything wherever he goes. But tell us a little bit about the track. There's you know, we obviously know it's post-lockdown, so it does have that kind of like a lovely feel-good track. But there's also a mental health aspect that you were covering in the track as well. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. You know what? When I was thinking about the track and the words that I wrote and everything, not all that it glitters is gold, it just brought me back to my my life and all the different challenges that have taken place. And, you know, people do look at you and they think that, oh gosh, she's got a great life. She's got husband, good marriage, kids, the car, the house, the this, the that, you know, but people actually don't know, you know, challenges that you face or that anybody faces, really. And that everybody has their not big moments, you know. And, you know, there are a lot of people that suffer or who have challenges, you know, through their life. And you see the outward appearance of everything. So, for instance, Harry and Meghan, you know.
Okay.
Tina Turner and Ike. Who else can I call on? Even recently, our dear friend who was caught with foul mouthing on. You remember the incident recently? I don't want to call his name. KF, the initials. Come on, I'm gonna let you guess now.
You put me on the spot. Hold on. Should put a ticking clock somewhere in there. So DK.
Foul mouthing, using foul language.
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know who the person is. Is it American?
One of our Christian artists. He's massive.
Oh yes. Okay, yeah. Well, that was a whole thing, wasn't it? There was a whole another thing around.
Big thing.
Yeah.
That was a whole big thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, we look at things at the outside and think everything is fine. Oh wow, there's this. Oh God, look, and we admire all of that, but we actually don't know what's going on the inside for people.
Very
Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
And not all that glitters is gold. We all have our not big moments,
So you saw that, right, Clue? You saw that come up on the screen. There's a couple of people that jumped on. I just want to say a quick hi, guys. Shouts going out to Jojo Heaven. She's all the way up there in Birmingham. God bless you, Jojo, as you jump on. Hazel Ann is on, as well as a few other people as well. They tend to hide behind this privacy glass on YouTube, so it's fine. Shouts going out to Gary Revelation Dixon, who I'm sure you've come across somewhere in your musical career, because he seems to know absolutely everybody at the moment. So shouts going out to you guys for coming on. But yeah, so do you think that part of that issue is that people just really want to believe that you are 100 and you are all right, and it's a place that they can wish that they want to be, ascribe to be? It's almost like you're our hope. If we look at Patricia Knight Scott and what she's done and what she's doing and how she is and stuff like that, that it's something that they can aspire to, and they really don't want to know your backstory. They really don't want to know your challenges and your failings.
And that's it, and it's not just me. The song tells a story of anybody in that position. Anyone can have challenges in their life that they face, and then they just put the mask on and come out. A lot of times, this is what I would like to say to people, is that when you look at somebody who looks really, really strong, please don't forget to find out how they are, or give them a little word of encouragement, because sometimes that person that is strong and is always there for you or always there for everybody has their moments where they're literally behind closed doors. They're in pieces, and they haven't got anybody, because they're always giving, always there, always the strong one, but there's no one ever there for them. And sometimes we do have to, look at those people, but actually just say to them, so how's things going with you? How, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what they say. But some are proud and will not say. But if you dig a little bit, you will find out that things are maybe not 100%. I've had people in my life who were really, really strong, or they're the strong one in the family. You always get the ones in the family that are always have it together, always got it together.
Yeah.
And then something comes and just knocks them for six, and then you think, how comes that knock you for six? But because there's been a build-up. It's called the iceberg effect. Sometimes there's things going on underneath there, and then all of a sudden it just comes from nowhere, like a volcano, and you think to yourself, oh gosh, how comes they've reacted like that? It's because it's been bubbling for a while.
I completely identify with everything that you just said there. Word for word, line for line, precept upon precept. And I'll tell you why, because I tend to be that way as well. And I think the trick to it is I'm really good at doing it with other people. So, you're talking to people, and I guess I like talking to people because that's my job most of the time. I end up talking to people. But, sometimes you want to go a little bit further or go a little bit underneath the bonnet, and you just kind of like rest at a particular point. You don't kind of like shoot past the usual pleasantries. How are you? Oh yeah, I'm great. I'm fine. How's it going? Oh yeah, it's brilliant. It's da-da-da-da. But you kind of like pause a little bit, and you kind of like you do a little bit of a deep dive.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this whole nother thing now begins to come out, and you're thinking, well, it's a little bit different from you saying that you're all right. But I realize what you're saying, because I do this myself. So I'm very much. It all depends on who you are, but you can ask me a question. I ain't saying nothing to you. I am just motoring.
Yeah.
I am plowing, and I'm just doing. And you know, every once in a while, sometimes you do take stock, or somebody is able to say, well, actually, you know, and then you then realize that, okay, you know, maybe things aren't as, you know, you do need to take this little bit of time for yourself and stuff like that out there. But it's really easy for you not to let anybody in to really know how you're feeling or what you're doing. And it doesn't take that much.
I'll give you a story, or I'll give you a group of people that do this a lot. Worship leaders. Worship leaders, they are in front. They are the strong ones. They're the ones that they plow behind in the background. They feed into what they're doing, because they want to give. They want to lead people, you know, in the Holy Spirit. They want to kind of like, you know, lead the congregation and let the congregation experience that wealth and that goodness in God.
Yeah.
You can find that a worship leader or a pastor, or even a pastor,
Yep,
you know,
I'd say church leadership,
plowing away, and they actually don't look after themselves. They just give. Now you've got a cup of water, okay, and it was full in 1970.
Careful.
Okay, let's go to the 20th century. So they were full in 2016, okay?
Yeah.
And they give and give. That cup of water is not going to last that long, okay? If nobody is putting back into that person, or if that person is not receiving, but they're just giving, they're going to burn out. Why? I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
They're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they're going to burn out. You have to look after your pastor. You have to look after your worship leaders. You need to plow back. Just the same way as they're giving, you need to plow back, because it's too much to give. You can't give from an empty cup. The cup is empty.
Come on now.
It was flowing over before, but it's now empty, because it is only going one way.
It's going out.
It's only going out.
Yeah.
There's nothing coming in.
Yeah. Do you think there's a response?
I've heard this story from so many people.
Yeah.
So many artists, so many.
I was going to say, Patricia, do you think the responsibility also lies on the individual as well, to realize that they need to be replenished? Probably more than those people that are around, because, you know, people got their own stuff that they're dealing with, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you know, I say to Patricia, you know, long time, you know, couple of, you know, decent EPs out, remixes out, but what's really happening under that? And you go, well, DJ Val, interesting, you should, and then you just let off.
Exactly.
So, I think part of it is that sometimes people are a little bit scared of the answer that they might really get, or they feel that it could be a little bit overwhelming for them. But
this is the thing. This is the thing. You should ask, and you should feel that you can say no. Now I need time to go take a break or go to a retreat or go to that worship leader course or whatever it might be. Or even God might want to take you in a different direction completely.
Hallelujah.
And you need to do some research that way. And people shouldn't feel scared, or leaders shouldn't feel scared of letting go. They should feel a joy that a person is growing up and is spreading their wings, because you are the person that actually built that person up and gave them their wings. Let them fly.
Amen.
Let them fly. There's more to come.
Amen. 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 And because I'm in leadership, and I can tell you for a fact, you know what I mean, especially during the whole lockdown thing, you know, it's a challenge for you, because you're going through your own stuff as well as you're trying to now begin to minister to other people. And, you know, I think things are different for different people. I'm kind of all right adjusted to particular things. I have my failings, don't get me wrong, but it was interesting because I lost my dad earlier on this year, and even with that, it's some people never met my dad. Some people didn't know my dad had passed away, and there's still a responsibility when they're lost or they're bereaved. They still want you to be in that place for them as well. And you know, it is that very fine juggling act that we do as believers. But I think if you don't at some point take yourself out of the game, I think some of the problem is, Patricia, and I'm speaking from my point of view, is I think sometimes we have a bit of a God complex ourselves. We feel that unless we're doing it, that it's not going to get done. And that means that we need to stay at the plow all the time and not realize that we need to go off, get a bite to eat, have some water, revive ourselves, and then come back. The field will still remain there. And because it's God's work, right? Yeah.
Because it's God's work. It's God's work. It will still be there. It will still keep going. Life will keep going.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're out there and you're listening, right, that is just regardless. You know, I've been in companies. Okay, let's put it in terms that maybe people understand. You know, I've worked in jobs that I felt that I was almost indispensable. You know, you feel like, you know, every 10 seconds somebody is coming to you. Val, what do you think? What's the direction? What's this? What's that? What, you're going up, you're going down. Whether you're having a good time or a bad time, you are pivotal to everything that happens there. And you almost feel that, you know, sometimes you don't want to take, you know, a day off. You know, I discipline myself to, you know, when I finished work, I finished work. Before, I would be working at weekends and all kinds of craziness, you know, because I felt, you know, that's what you do. But, you know, the minute that you're not there, or, you know, you leave or you move on. In my case, I got made redundant about 2.5, 3 years ago. You know, the business still continues without you. You know, it's like you're thinking like, wow, so all this time, actually, maybe I might have been better, you know, just kind of like reining it in a little bit and using my energy for other things as well. But, and, you know, it's almost the same with in Christendom. And, you know, if you are, you know, at a position and you're at the front, you know, almost God forbid that you say, well, actually, you know, I'm going to go away for you know, a couple of months to go and, you know, refuel the tank. They almost feel that you backslid, you know. So he's fallen by the way. Oh, what happened to him? We haven't seen him around. Oh, it's like, no, I went away just to, you know, take stock and replenish as well. So it's
not to say that that certain people won't be missed, because you know, if I think about organizations that I've been in, you know, I still will harp on all that, the boss that we had in, you know, a couple of years back. Oh, I prefer that boss because he did that and he was more organized, or whatever it might be. So
Yeah.
not to say that people's value wasn't kind of like respected, and but the company will go on regardless. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not saying that people are not going to feel away, if a certain person leaves. We are human beings, by the way. So we are going to have feelings, and we are going to, grieve, even if it's for a short time, at the loss of somebody, leaving the nest, as it were, or going onto a different opportunity.
Yeah.
But life will go on.
Yeah.
Life will go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you know I got used to that when I joined the church that I'm in now? I kind of got used to that, mainly because my pastors are they're missionaries. So they're used to moving about. And when I first came to the church, it was full of missionaries.
Yeah.
Every minute people were going off on the mission here, there, and everywhere. So it kind of got me used to not getting myself attached to certain people in the church. So, because I think, right, I'm not going to get attached to Brother John, even though he preaches so good. Sorry, I was thinking, because he's going to go off on the mission for a year. So you've got to accept people for who they are, and. I think it taught me a bit of a lesson there, not to get myself too attached to the things that can move, because people grow, and people were leaving and going and starting off their own church, so it was like it was just moving and shifting all the time. And I was thinking, oh God. Oh, Sister Soul's going in as well. Oh, it kind of got me used to this fluidity in the body that people will come in, they will feed, they will grow, they will shift.
Fly. Yeah.
You can't stay. You just can't stay here. And if you're, I've actually heard Bishop John Francis say that. If you're in Ruach 3 years and you're still in the bench, just coming to church and sitting down and not doing anything, no, it's not good enough. What has God called you to do? What is your what's the burning desire in you?
Yeah.
Go seek and go to that department. If you're good at speaking to somebody, you might be good in the helps. Department. I've heard him say that before. You shouldn't be here, baby, just drinking milk here all the time. You need to move up the next level and grow.
But it's interesting you say that, because a lot of people do feel that they don't have to, they for whatever reason, they just don't feel that they need to apply themselves in that whole growth process. So they pretty much come sit in the same seat week in and week out for years and years and years on end, doing exactly exactly the same thing. And there is I think you probably bear witnesses. There's a blessing in being part of the ministry and helping the work, being part of that work process, being part of the, the disciples. I know that I can't put a direct correlation between things, but it's just like an inner truth that that I know that there's been some things God has just given me a bly on, or he's just given me stuff, just based on the fact, because man, I just worked, I worked for God. Maybe I didn't even understand what I was doing sometimes. I just let me just turn up and do what I'm doing and do the best that I can. And he sees the intention of your heart, and I believe that allows him to bless you in a very unique way or specific way, that for what you need. And I'm not saying God doesn't bless people that sit on the bench and don't do nothing, you know. I'm not saying that. Someone sound bites me and they go, this is what he said, you know. That guy.
I'm sure that God challenges the hearts of people all the time.
But he does.
It's
look,
not for us to do that. It's not
he
for us to
does.
judge.
He does. I've tried sitting down, you know. There's a time I'll tell you this is a funny story. I went to this church in North London and I just got married. No Rack City Church in North London, so I was a bit far away, and I like to serve, and I thought, well, it takes me an hour to get there, so I need to find a local church, and then when things happen, so I'm in this church and sitting down in there, and the sound was horrible. It was horrible. Now I'm a sound engineer, all right, and I'm sitting in there, and I went the first week, and it was horrible. It hurt me. And went the second week. I don't know if it was, it was just not balanced. It was just all over the place. And I'm sitting in there, and I said, and I think I said it under my breath. I said, God, this just sounds terrible. And he said, yeah, so you should fix it.
Did someone overhear you?
Yeah, no. God said to me, you should fix it. And I went, oh, God. And it was like, it's not too many times I hear an audible reply like that from God. But I was muttering under my breath, God, this just sounds terrible. And he said, yeah, you should fix it. And it was almost like I could see the finger like in my face. You should fix it because you've got the skills to do it.
Yeah.
So, I went to the pastor and, I explained my situation. I said, look, I help you. I'm not a member of your church, but, I help you while I'm here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is my experience. He went, oh, really? And he went, yeah. And, we came in and used our skills and, things came up to a level and a degree. But, I say that, and you're right, God probably is speaking to people right now and saying, why are you not doing something?
That's it.
Yeah. Big, small, do something.
Whatever their gift is, he's speaking to them all the time. You should be doing that.
Yeah.
You should be helping to make the tea. You should be. Because it's not just about preaching and singing on the pulpit.
Yeah.
There's just so many other areas that you can help.
Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be a life sentence. You can say, okay, for the next 3 months, I'm going to help out in this department. And then it doesn't have to be like, your grandchildren now have to inherit your position kind of thing. It can be for a period, and then, you may. Yeah. So I encourage you, get up there and get out people. If you're out there and you're wondering what to do, then, do it a little bit. And then, you can make a potential change. But just so... I think I'd never realized, right? You see, your that track, All That Glitters Is Gold, right? When I first heard it, the original version, I didn't quite get it. But I think the video now helped me to understand, because I'm a bit of a visual person, even though I love music. But the visual, the video helped me to get it. So just talk us through. I'm going to run the video without the audio, but just talk us through kind of like this, because it tells a specific story, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So just run us through that, and then
So basically, the song originated from me wearing a bracelet on stage during worship, and my dear friend Emma O'Connor looked at the bracelet. It was a lovely Diamante bracelet, and she said to me, "Wow," she goes, "Oh, that bracelet is nice. You can give me a wear of it." So I said to her, "Not all that glitters is gold."
Come on.
So she goes, "There's a message in that." So basically, she doesn't know that I never ever wear the bracelet very often, because every time I wore it, it snagged my clothes and damaged my clothes. so as beautiful as it was just a nightmare wearing it.
Yeah.
So she said to me, "There's a message in that, Pat. You need to write it." So I said, "I'm not no preacher." And she looked at me sternly, because she's a seer, and she said, "No, write that message." And that is how the actual line of the song or title of the song came about.
Wow.
So I'm showing that in the video with the bracelet.
Yeah.
and how he snagged my clothes, and I was late for the party, and I was like, ah. And then my daughter had a bracelet that she was going to give me for my birthday, so
Yeah.
she came and gave it to me, and replaced the one that always snagged my clothes. And that's Ellie, my church sister, skating, trying to skate, learning to skate, and had to try several times, falling down, picking herself up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in the video, I can see that it breaks, right? The bracelet breaks or something like that, and then your daughter gets you a new one.
Yeah.
See, so now I completely get it now. When I because that phrase, all that glitters is not gold. I don't know the origin, whether or not you looked up the origin of that statement at all, because you know how English language is.
It's just a saying, but I kind of like the scriptural verses in the bridge where I say, dare to hope and dare to dream, make life as good as it can be. What you sow is what you reap. Yeah, so that's the scriptural part. You know, we need to remember, I said to you, we need to sow the right things.
Yeah.
You know, and then we will reap what we sow. And sometimes life throws curveballs, but still, it's how we deal with those curveballs. You know.
Yeah.
The rap then talks about us, you know, not looking at comparing ourselves to others, but knowing that we're unique, and you know, everybody's got their own journey, their own story. Yeah.
So, did you write the rap, or did the rapper write the rap?
Okay, so I just wrote down all my thoughts to the rapper, and then he captured it in the rap.
Yeah. Huh. So you kind of like gave him the points, and then he just put it
I
together.
wrote like a dissertation, and he kind of like he was absolutely brilliant, honest to God. How he captured everything just like that in one bar. I think it's eight bars of the song.
Yeah, because it wasn't long.
It wasn't long, and he captured everything.
Wow.
And the original rap talks about Meghan and Harry, but I said to him, you can't use Meghan and Harry's name because I'll get done.
It might cause a little too much attention, if you know what I mean. Yes.
Exactly.
There's a little bit too much attention, and we don't want anything that would do.
Talking about marriage, we had their names in there, and then I said no, we can't, because I was bringing reference to the different marriages, like Tina Turner, like I said to you, Turner and Meghan and Harry, and all the different celebrity marriages that are out there. They look so great, and then next minute, you know,
it all falls apart. But it's I think we do like to look on the outward appearance, don't we? While God always sees the heart. Yeah, God always sees the heart. Okay, so you see this, so I wasn't planning to do this, right? And then I thought about this track as well, and there's a poem I know, right, that talks about all that glitters is not gold, right? So I don't know if you're included in another remix, but I am gonna do this poem for you right now, because I learned this when I was in school. Again, one of those memory things. I don't know who wrote it. It's not mine, but it was a, and I've even tried to Google search it, and I still can't find. You know, I've tried to put in the words somewhere. Yeah, I don't know who wrote it. It was a group of girls that were saying it in school.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, that's really nice. I said, you know, I'd like to learn it. I'd like to learn it then. And, you know, they then taught me. And it's stayed in my head probably for over 40 odd years. But it goes like this. It says, the road ahead, the path behind, the lonely ways we all must climb, the unmarked way, the thorny track, it's just enough to break your back. And just how far you have to go, you cannot tell, you just don't know. But keep a strong heart, brave each day, expecting that you're on the way to something better, something great, something that can compensate. In days of old, you have been told, all that glitters is not gold, but the best comes from the residue of what God or what life has in store for you.
What? You need to send that to me.
I will.
And if it hasn't got an author, I can't plagiarize it.
No, I have searched high and low to try and find out where it's come from. So for anyone out there that does know it, but it I mean, the way they were saying it, I'm talking 40 odd years ago, right? There was no internet, there was no nothing, but they seem to know this, right? They seem to know this, and it was like, oh, you haven't heard of this? I went, no, I hadn't, you know, but I wasn't a reader. So yeah, I'll send it over to you. I'll get it typed up. I'll send it over to you so you can
definitely
do with it as you will.
Talking about poems,
mm-hmm.
In my journaling process, I wrote 3 very short poems. They weren't long.
Yeah.
Very, very short poems. I was thinking to myself, ooh, DJ Val has that section of his program.
Yes,
where
he does. Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about you, you know. I was thinking, but it's not long.
No, they don't have to be long. That's the beauty of it.
Really short. It's probably half of a page.
That seems quite long. But they don't need to be. They don't have to be. You know, it doesn't need to be. Who does long poems now? Well, I'm thinking of Wale Soyinka. His poems are always long, and no one ever really. His poems are always long. They don't need to be long. They just need to be. I love poetry, and you know, I dabbled a little bit in writing, then got a little bit of writer's block, and then I started off and on and off and on. So that gift, you know, I mean, we just want to bring those out so people just see that as a, you know, a valid form of communication and worship and stuff like that. So yeah, please.
Yeah, because it's just one of those things that I started journaling more during the lockdown. I had the time.
Yeah.
You know. And it's just so cathartic. It's so refreshing doing it. Just, you know, when you just write anything, write.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have a topic. So I did a journaling session with Musicians Union. They had like a course on it.
Okay.
Free course. So I joined it. Was it last year? Last year. They had one last year and they had one this year, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And when you know, I commented on your on that section in your program. I commented on the poems.
The poems, yeah. So we've locked you in. Then we're gonna get you to send over your poems, and then we have you on Poetically Speaking. Because I think a lot of people write things down, and you know, poems. It's not always about rhyme, but there's something that you can do that is just, it can be. So I do one by this lady called Gemma Regis as well, and it's a bit of a thing that I put on there, and it just really helps me. And it's all about you just being in control of your thoughts and your mind. It's you know, she says from the morning when I wake up, I have a choice, and it's all about the things, what you choose to think about, and how that now comes out in your decision-making process. And you know, she's kind of like saying, you know, when I feel that I'm rough or the enemy's really giving me a tough time, I make decisions in terms of what I think about and how I need to feel and the emotions that are attached with that. And it's not in a rhyme, but it just works. It just flows. So yeah, you know, I think there's other people out there that are poetically inclined or feel that they write things down, that you need to get to this place of sharing it, I think, and that really helps too.
Yeah, you can share some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
I share all of them. Sometimes you just writing rubbish.
I'm hungry. I'd like. Where's the nearest KFC? Or you write a poem about KFC. It's like, nah, okay, that's not really. That's the kind of thing I would do, actually. I'd sit down there now, probably thinking about KFC, and But anyway, let's back in the room, Val. Back in the room. Back in the room.
Journaling, there's no wrong or right. There's no wrong or right. You just write. Write. You can set a timer.
Do you journal a lot though? Do you do have you got volumes of stuff?
I journal. I kind of stopped journaling a little bit at the rate that I was before because I've gone back to the supply teaching. So obviously, then I'm working in the day and then working in the evening. I ain't got no time. But when I had my days free, I was journaling more. So I would say up until when schools go back. This year.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I was journaling a lot. I have my book, and it's a lovely book. So I like going to it because it's a good quality journaling book.
I don't like writing. I'll be honest with you. I have this thing about writing. I don't know.
You don't like writing, don't you? Oh my gosh!
I know, right? I have to do it, and I type okay and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
I find there's a bit of disconnect when I'm typing.
But when you say you don't like writing, journaling is different from writing. It's not like you're writing a book. You're just writing thoughts. It's like, for instance, when you're in school and you were told to do a spider diagram, and you've got your topic in the middle, and then there's no wrong or right. So why wouldn't you like it? Because there's no wrong or right. There's no one saying to you, "Oh no, you can't put that. That's not right." It's your thoughts. It's wherever you're at that moment in time. You just and you can, and also with journaling, you don't have to write. You can do diagrams. You can doodle. There's no wrong or right way of doing it, and that is the lovely thing about it. It's not like school where no, you've got to do it like that, and your grammar's got to be like that. And no, your spelling's wrong. No, you do what you like. And sometimes it's great, again, for your mental health, because sometimes you might have things on your chest and you just want to get it off, and sometimes I'll be putting things like, God, are you there? God, are you listening? God, and it might start like that, and then it all just comes out, and you just feel that sense of relief. And also sometimes when you're doing it, God actually comes in and actually says, "I am listening," and then gives you an answer to something. It's fantastic. I love it.
All right, you convinced me. All right. It's all right. I used to write when I was younger. I used to write a lot more, But I think with the advent of technology, typing came in. But I find that there isn't the same connection when I'm typing than if I was writing with my hand.
So, what are you saying, that you have a better connection typing or writing?
No, I have a better connection when I'm writing. If I type, I feel disconnected from what it is I'm you do dissertations, you do stuff for school and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, cool. But when it's a more personal, personal thing, I think writing with my hand is a bit more of a because I don't have to think so much, even though God, this is all about me typing. This is not what it's supposed to be about. But maybe someone else has this same thing, so maybe it's good that we talk about it for a little bit. But I when I write, I feel more connected with the subject than when I type. Because I think writing is the natural thing first of all, and then typing is not a natural thing, even though I do it more than ever. So that is part of it as well. And you're right. So nobody's really judging the spelling and the grammar and all that stuff. And I'm horrendous at spelling and grammar. I can spell, you know how many times I had to check to make sure I got your name right. You don't understand how many times, especially the Patricia.
People don't say Patricia; they say Patricia. They leave the I out.
So
they don't put CIA; they put CA, Patricia.
You see. So
yeah,
this is why. Time. So this is why, and I look at things and see, I could look and I spelt your name wrong. Right? I haven't spelled it wrong, but I'm just saying. And I'd look and I'd think. Perfect. That looks right, and I've spelled it wrong, and then I will go away like about maybe 30 minutes, come back and look again, go, oh, that's wrong though. I mean, you didn't put the I in the right place, or the T is round the wrong way. So I think that sometimes kind of like used to discourage me a bit in my head, like, oh God, I'm gonna write it, and then but then on the computer you've got a spell checker that makes you look clever, even though maybe you're not sometimes. So it's just I've invested in programs. I've invested in programs that clean up my grammar to make sure that when I send emails and things that I don't miss off stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good, but it's almost like that's my safety net. So I feel when I don't have that on, anyway, I think enough said about that, DJ Val.
Well, you know what? Each to their own. If you need that help, you have that help.
Yeah. I'm gonna try journaling now.
I don't think anyone should judge you for that.
Yeah, I think I judge myself more than anybody else, but I'm gonna give it a go. I think God was speaking there, so I am gonna give it a go and start writing again. So
give it a go, because it's also a time when you can switch off. You switch off because us as human beings, we're on the go all the time. Our brain is. As soon as you get up in the morning, you want to meditate. I find, sometimes if I've got a lot on, and I'm getting into my meditation, then my brain's saying, remember to do that. Remember, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, So, when you're writing, I mean, the same things can happen, but not as much, I don't think. Not in my experience, anyway.
No, you're really speaking God's heart. So I'm gonna pick that up again, and you can check up on me as well. So you can say, hey, have you started yet?
Have you started
yet? I will. I will. I'm live now, so I can't really get out of it. And sometimes that's what you need. You need to be publicly, put on the spot. Like you're gonna have to do it now. And I'll be honest with you,
I have to make the confession.
Yes, which is good for the soul. I feel like I've been in a bit of a classroom with you today. Actually, it was like I don't
want to be like a teacher.
No, but in a real good way. It's like I guess how that's how your students feel. They come up to. Was that like a lesson? Because I feel like we really had a good time and we learned stuff as well. So I'm kind of like feeling like that now. So thank you so much. It's really been a blessing. It has really been a blessing as always. I do like talking to you as well. As I think we share a lot of same interests as well. So yeah, it does make the conversation easy, very very easy for me as well. Want to give a quick few shout outs to people that jumped on as well. I said Hazel Ann was on, Mr. Vimmel jumped on as well. That's a friend of mine all the way from North Wheezy representing. He actually's made a couple of decent comments. Sorry, Mr. Vimmel, I didn't get a chance to actually mention them, but he said North Wheezy, everything is hunky-dory here, blah, 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 blah. I said always the underlying issue. It's a matter of getting to the sweet spot that will open up a tiny can of worms. I think that's when we were talking about people not digging deep into how they feel. You know, it's the pleasantries like, oh, how are you? I'm fine. And then we just quickly move on. So that was great. It's great to have him on as well. Jojo in Birmingham says, great talk. She also gave a huge clue to the artist that we were trying to remember and talk about. So shouts going out there to Jojo. She said the clue is Stomp, in case anybody was wondering. We'll leave that to your own imaginations. And those are the comments that were on the chat as well. So yeah. So right. So we've got the remix to Glitters. Anything else due to come out in terms of remixes and music, or?
So there is another remix on the way.
Come on, girl. Come on, girl. I like that, man. You can make that one track and make it run hard. Why not?
Well, this is what I've been told.
Yes, and that's what you should do.
This is what I've been told.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah.
So
I think you'll like this one though.
The new remix.
Yeah, I think you like the remix coming.
Okay. You should send it. You know, let me tell you, one of the problems that you guys have, if you send me the music, although if you sent this one to me and you said, you know what, this is not even, you dare not even play this, so I wouldn't, but only for my ears only. But once I get the music, I get the dates, and they say, oh, you know, being released in 2 weeks' time. I don't even see that. I just think, oh, new music. I'm like, it's just like, you know, like it's like a kid at Christmas. You know, put it on, let's play it. It's like, yeah. So I do fall foul of that. But yeah, okay. Then, you know, you can say, send it to me and just say, okay, just to listen to, or a little bit to listen to, and then I'll listen to it, and then But I really enjoyed this one. This was so the original kind of beat, because I was asking somebody what the song. I know the song. It's a little bit of love will go a long, long way. But I couldn't remember the artist that did that. No?
Yeah.
No? Really? Okay.
No, you lost me. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought it was like it was like a cut of something or a sample of something that was in there. No? Maybe you don't know that.
Maybe I don't know because it wasn't me that did the music. I did the lyrics.
Okay. All right, I tell you what, after the show, I'll send you something that I think it is. That it might have been a sample. I haven't ruined any copyright rules or whatever else it is. Thankfully, the community here, we're very loving. So you're all right. We're a very loving community, aren't we, community? Very loving community here. So just make sure nothing else is done. All right, so new remix coming out. And yeah, you know
I've got other material as well, but
yeah,
it's just trying to pin down producers that I like to work with. You know, everyone's busy.
Yeah,
you know, everyone's busy, so you can't always
have them at your beck and call.
Do it like So I've got at least 2 tracks that I really, really can't wait to get out, but I just have to wait because I have to wait for the producers that I want to use.
There you go. Patience is a virtue, right? You're gonna have to hold on. All right. So, Patricia, we're gonna have to round things up because I'm back to my other network that is tuning. You're actually live on Salt FM's Drive Time today as well, which is great to be on because they syndicate around the whole wide world. So you're very, very fortunate to be on with them. And I believe that you shall repeat in your entirety tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. on the Soul Food Gospel channels. And you'll be on Instagram soon too, so we'll chop this up and put it on Instagram for you as well, so all your Instagram followers have the opportunity to jump in and enjoy this as well. So thank you so much. Tell us how we can get hold of you before you go. Tell us how people can get hold of you.
So my handle is really, really easy. So Insta Patricia Knight Scott, and it's going to be FB Patricia Knight Scott. It's going to be YouTube Patricia Knight Scott. It's really easy, Patricia Knight Scott. You can get me. All my handles are under my name, my artist name. So you will find me if you put that in any of the platforms.
Brilliant. There we go.
Yeah.
So that's, and you've got a YouTube channel as well. Please, guys, go over to subscribe to the YouTube channel too. I subscribed.
Yes.
I think it was today or yesterday. I don't. For some reason, I didn't realize that you had a YouTube channel, but I think in searching for the video to this,
Yeah,
then it then came up. So I've subscribed. So
and
please
I've
take the
got
opportunity.
Spotify artist channel as well.
Yep. So follow on Spotify too. That all helps. The more the merrier as well. And you know, just do the usual, guys. You know, just wherever you see Patricia Knight Scott,
Any
you know
channel
her.
that they fancy, really.
Anywhere that you choose.
Support in any way, shape, or form.
And we will support you because you know you're doing well. And actually, quick one. Any live performances booked in for maybe now post Freedom Day? They're calling it.
There aren't. I would prefer
Available for bookings.
go through my booking promoter. Yeah. And,
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to be your agent. I'm just letting people know that if you are available for bookings, they need to reach out to you, right? Because they may be thinking that they're not, right? And they're, you know, bookings is, you know, it's a nice little form of income, hopefully. So
yeah,
you know, yeah. So yeah, but, you know, you can book her direct. You know, maybe they have a private event that they want you at. I hear that's all the rage now. They do these private kind of private public events that for a select few, and then you get invited. I like talking to you, and you have this way about you. Have you ever considered being a presenter, maybe on a show or something?
Oh my gosh, no. It depends on what forum, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I think you do well. I think guests would feel at ease with you, so you may well have a very unique way to be able to get different kind of like things out of people. So don't underestimate it. You know, if you've got that gift, then yeah. Talking to people.
Okay, I'll receive it.
You choose who you talk to. That's the good thing about this job. You choose, you know, and I get great guys like you. So, you know, thanks so much indeed to Black Douglas Media. Thank you so much indeed, Bim, for always being a great support to us here. So, yeah, he always ensures I get great people. So, yeah, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. All right, shall I let you go?
All right,
you know, you are going to have to go. I know it's really...
You have to go because you're busy. You've got things to do. So
yeah.
have I.
Yeah.
my lesson doesn't start just yet. I've got 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. So, you know, you can grab a drink and then
let me go have a drink. And
yes, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Patricia Knight Scott, thank you so much indeed. God bless you, and thank you for coming on the Soul Food Late Lunch Show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.